Right, so I'm sitting in this Audi A5, it's an intermittent non-start.
I was contacted by a friend of a friend, text message through the week and asked me if I knew what the fault would be via the text message. He said it starts, sometimes doesn't start, sometimes starts and cuts out, comes up handbrake warning message on the dash. I think there's various other faults as well on the dash. Speaking to a specialist, bag specialist, also fixed it, and it's been to a couple of mechanical friends. So basically he brought the car to me yesterday morning, there's a handbrake module in the passenger seat. So he's got a main brought handbrake module, you know, there's probably literally no point in that because
I think the way he's describing it's sounding like a main relay problem. Now, the main relay energises the ECU, obviously for the inputs for the sensor, for the engine to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and prove the fault without, before even starting the diagnostic, because I've only got so much time with the ignition on before they really might start working. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to confirm the fault first, and then I'm going to set up my multimeter on the 5V ref, because that will prove whether the ECU is powered up and on the main relay itself. So as I said, I'm just going to put the ignition on, I'm going to show you the fault happening, and then I'm going to set up my meter, and then I'm going to do my scan with my meter set up. So if it actually starts working while I'm scanning it because the ignition's on, then I can go and look at my meter and we can prove the fault before it fixes itself, kind of thing. So I'll just grab the camera, I'll attempt to start it in the dash. I've not tried to start it a minute ago, so we'll be seeing this together for the first time. So I'll just grab the camera, and you can see obviously I'm looking at the dash, my GoPro battery's low, god damn. So let's go to start it. Hopefully this doesn't crank. Not cranking. So we've got ESP fault, see owner's manual, blah blah blah, so all the service crap that comes up. So I've got my foot in the clutch, attempting to push the button. We can see we're getting parking brake malfunction, lights coming up the dash. So as I said, I'm just going to set up my meter. We'll pick the camera back up when I've got it set up, and then we'll run a scan, and hopefully we'll see the ECU is not communicating, and then we can prove the relay is the problem. I've actually got a relay here, so we'll get the relay put on, and we'll prove the fix, and we can get this guy phoned and tell him to make his way back down for the car. Okay, so we'll see you soon. Right, so I'm going to show you. I found the diagram, I found the breakout for the fusion relay box, and I've highlighted on this system, it's calling it R4, relay R4, and you can see terminal 30 voltage supply relay or Motronic power supply relay. So that's the battery voltage supply into the ECU, which then obviously powers up everything else on that side of the ECU. So piloted it here in red, so that's the relay I'm looking for. So I've got a row of fuses, and if you just note, I don't know how to focus that, so if you just note at the first three here, that's 5 amperes. So I should 5 amps, and then obviously the one up across to the right is my main relay. So I'm just going to show you that on the car, and then I'm going to pull the relay out, I'm going to tap into the control and the power output side, and we're going to prove this fault. So I'm going to show you just now. So this is obviously me back at the relay box. Got my light on so you can see. So you can see 5 amps, and we go up and across, and then it is indeed this relay here. So I'm going to find out what pins I need to probe into to get my my control side and my power output side. And we're going to prove it on the Vantage, because the Vantage has got 2 channels, and it's ideal to prove this fault. I'll show you, I can kind of record it, and hopefully the relay will switch while I've got the ignition on, and I can prove the fault. And just to hammer the problem home, or the fault home, I've backpinned in at a 5V ref sensor so we can see basically the ECU powering up, because when it powers up it outputs the voltage to the sensors. So I'm going to prove that with this. I'm going to try and do it via Bluetooth so that we can see it sitting inside the car, or if we're under the bonnet at the time, whichever. So I'll go and dig out the pin locations, and I'll get tapped in, and then we'll bring you back. Okay, I spent 10 minutes testing the wrong relay, so just wasted my time, made myself look silly. But I'm on the right relay now, this one here. So this is my output pin, which is pin 5, and this powers up my ECU, so this will be the failing circuit, and that'll be channel 2 on the scope graphing meter. And then obviously the first channel will be control side. Now with the ignition off on the control side, let me see, I've got battery voltage. See, let me turn this light off. So I've got battery voltage on that. Well, I'll turn it back on. In fact, I'll just turn the light on the Vantage, it might be better. Nah, I'll just turn the camera light on. Right, sorry about that. So, channel 1, battery voltage, control side. When I put the ignition on, this will go to ground because I'm on the ground side of it. The reason why I've got voltage just now because it's travelling through the relay and then kind of back feeding up into this side of the circuit. So we'll see that go to ground when the ignition's on, and then we should see battery voltage. As I say, this is a failing circuit, so I'm going to try and prove that just now, and then we'll double prove it by going to a 5V ref circuit, which is going to be in our cam sensor there. So ignition's off just now, that's why we've got battery voltage there and nothing there and nothing there. Ignition on, so ignition's on. ESP fault, so we shouldn't have the fault. The fault should be happening right now, which is good. So we can see we had something there. So channel 2 is the bottom one. We're looking at 1.9 volts, and we've been pulled to ground on channel 1. So the circuit's been energised, but it's not sent the voltage across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and grab my screwdriver. This here. I'm going to try and make it. We're going to tap on this. Okay, so I'll be tapping on this relay while I focus you on my screen. What's that? Oh, you hear it clicking. So we've got something happened there. I'll keep tapping it until I get my voltage back. In fact, I'll tap it while I look at the 5V ref. Still, you see that contact happening there. Try and get it to stay. Yep, we heard a click and we're up to 5 volts. So we should have our voltage, which we have. Control side stayed the same the whole time. And then we've got our relay back working, so the contact's been made. If we looked at that in a scope, we could probably see those contacts coming on and off really much quicker. So let me see if I can get it to fail again. This is what I've been wanting to happen, so we'll tap this again. Focus you on the meter. Love this meter, brilliant. Oh, I've lost it. Then we're back to 1.2 volts. Brilliant. Keep doing it again. Enjoying this actually. Tap that. You see the contact, you can hear it clicking. In fact, I'll turn my car off. I can hear it better. I had this running because I was going to bring up that service information again, but there's no point now. Right, here we go. So what we're at just now, we're off, even though the ignition's on, and we've got no 5V ref. I'll stand back a bit, and you can see both at the one time. See channel 2 there, we've came back. Just contacts, oh, not enough to power up, there we go. Then we've got a 5V back. There we go, that's lovely. Really enjoyed that. Didn't even need to scan it. I could scan it and prove that the ECU's offline. I don't think there's any point at this stage. So this would just be a case of proving a relay fault. I think what we'll do now is I'll change the relay over to the known good one, the new one, and then we'll do the same test again and see if it fails the same way. It shouldn't, but let's try it. I've removed the bad relay. I've got a good one in. You can see the point I put it in. You can see our battery voltage travelling through onto the ground side at the top. And obviously the bottle's just off anyway because the ignition's off and I've got no 5V. Same test again. Now bear in mind this is the good relay, so it shouldn't be failing. And of course, once the bing and tell me it's going to go off, so let's recycle it. Got our 5V back. Put ignition on, we switch to ground, and then we got our steady power going into the ECU. So same test again. This shouldn't fail. Put it back so you can see both. I'm not even get the slightest of drop. It's all good. Start to give that a bit of battering now, so bad really as suspected. So what I'll do is I'll just finally I think I'll maybe run a guided on it, which is a scan of the whole car. So I'll run that, I'll erase all the memory so that he's got a fresh memory in case anything pops up in the future and somebody decides to follow these fault codes. So I'll just wipe his memory and that'll be us done. Narrow this down. European, should find Audi. What was the engine code? Was it a CN? CNC? Right, automatic search, finds a VIN, read, finds a VIN, straighten that up. That might be better. Okay. 2008 onwards, it's a coupe. It's a 2 litre petrol. It's I've got a terrible memory, I looked this up earlier. A CN, a CDN it was. CDN, that's it. Just diagnosis, I think. Auto scan it. And we'll just run through the modules. Okay, 09 Central Electrics. Just out of curiosity, what's that? The trouble goods. Aircon pressure switch, that was a surprise. Right, okay, exit out. That's it. Finished with this. Rest. Power off. Okay. And that's that. Oh.